It's Missing Real with Mike Darrigo. Let's get ready to rumble! Hey, knock it off! Come on, settle down. Trying to do a podcast here. Alright, good. So, without further ado, we bring to you the latest episode of Missing Real. This time, it's war. Oh no, I'm sorry. Whoever wins, we lose. Today's episode, Alien versus Predator. All right, welcome back, folks. We're here with yet another Missing Real episode. And again, I got a guest speaker, co-conversationalist, another authority on sci-fi horror shit like myself. So, hello, Quan Ngo in the house, man.
Hey, how you doing, Mike? Thank you for having me back. It's always a pleasure to be here and talk with you on this stuff.
It's always a calculated risk, but yes, happy to have you back. All right. So what are we talking about this time, man? It must be something we're pretty well versed in, I think. We're going to be talking about some AVP today.
Oh yeah, some of the finest science fiction horror classics out there. Two of my favorite, let's just say baddies from like my childhood, growing up. That had clearly no effect on me on the future watching it as children, but it's whatever. Yeah, and they finally decided to put them together. We're talking about Alien vs. Predator 1 and 2, or 2 would actually be considered Requiem.
Requiem, yeah, which we're gonna need from it pretty soon after we discuss this movie. But yeah, Alien versus Predator. I mean, I gotta say right up front, even though my expectations were low at the beginning, just how are they gonna possibly do this justice? It was way better than Freddy versus Jason, and I dare say a whole lot more exciting than Kramer versus Kramer. Yeah, just great movie monsters. Love these guys. Well, how far back does your Alien and Predator experience go? Where did you get started on these guys?
I think I was like 5 years old, and I saw Predator with my father. He had no issue with me watching horror movies and stuff like that, So pretty much we were just hanging out one day, and he just had Predator on VHS, and I'm like, this is the coolest thing in the world. Also, I'm a huge Schwarzenegger fan, so that definitely got me into it.
Oh yeah, well, we got to love the Arnold, back when he was making these kind of movies. How about your Alien history? How far back does that go?
Around the same time, seen all of them. I remember being, I don't know, maybe 12 and seeing Alien Resurrection on HBO or Cinemax, late time at night, and I'm just like, oh yeah, these are terrible.
You didn't start at the start, yeah?
No, I did not. I never actually saw Alien until a couple years after Aliens.
All right, but it kind of makes sense. You could see Aliens first and not really miss out, but it's a whole lot more, fulfilling if you've seen the original and then you see how they take it further.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. I mean, I personally like the idea more of like the whole, military guys going against, a bunch of alien bugs and, Sigourney Weaver like coming in and just kicking ass.
The Alien movies almost always have some kind of strong, kick-ass female protagonist. And Predators, yeah, it's usually just a bunch of beefed up, steroid-taking gym rats.
Let's just say, manly men. They come out.
Manly men, right, yeah. The testosterone flows a lot more than the estrogen in the Predator movies. It's like more of a man's monster movie.
It's the exact opposite of what is in today's world's men.
Back then, that's what made a man. When basically the epitome of the Predator movies, when Arnold and Carl Weathers lock wrist and you see the two biceps take up the entire screen of the theater. Like, that's right, that's a manly movie right there.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
One of the best lines that'll never ever be forgotten. When they said what up to each other and they clasped hands, they're like, Dylan, you son of a bitch. And then they gave
you son of a bitch. No, you got to use the accent. I didn't know who you were quoting Sir Arnold there.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, all right. Well, the Aliens and the Predators, before we get into the whole battle between them, do you have a favorite? Like, do you have a preferred monster that you
Predator all the way.
You like the Predators?
Oh, they're amazing. They're manly men, but in space, and they kill things and skin them, and they're manly men.
They're hunters. They're like the Ted Nugent of the alien world,
Yeah, and exactly. The aliens are the xenomorphs. They're just bugs. That's all
they're bugs. They are more like that other movie we were just talking about not long ago with Starship Troopers.
Exactly. And bugs suck. Kill every bug.
Starship Trooper bugs had a lot more technology than the xenomorphs do, but which it doesn't make them quite as scary, I think. They're just like, I don't understand that plasma shit that they fired out. Like, I can't be scared of that. I'm like, why are they doing that?
That's why the xenomorphs are actually kind of great because, they hide in the shadows. There's no, like, real camaraderie. They just, go out together and they just kill things, and then that's it.
And they breed. They're more of the breeding,
yes,
kind of
they
creature.
are the breeding type.
Now, let me see, since you like the predators more, do you know what their species name is?
The Yucatani or something like that?
You must be. I think you're confusing it with Wayland Yutani, but it's close. It starts with a Y. I just found this out too.
So long because
they
I remember
actually have a name.
Yeah. Because in what was it?
Probably the graphic novels.
Yeah, in the comic books, they always said what the species was actually called.
Well, I just learned it, so don't feel bad. You forgot it, but I never knew.
Oh,
the Yucha.
The Yucha. Yeah. Oh,
Yucha.
Man. Yeah, I forgot all that.
Sounds like some sort of badass Ewok curse word or something there. Yeah. All right, so those are the Yuchas, and the aliens are just the xenomorphs. But, Alien versus Predator, technically they're both aliens because we're on Earth and they're extraterrestrial, so they're all aliens, whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah.
But it's just a cool matchup that, again, I didn't know, like, what do I expect from this movie? I know the Predator movies were great. The action, the technology, the Predators are kind of like these intergalactic Rastafarian Batman kind of creatures that have all this cool shit on their utility belt and weapons and all kinds of accessories that kill things.
It's all made for killing. That's it.
In cool ways. And we've seen, humans try to take on the Predators. They didn't do too well. We saw humans try to take on the aliens. But, aliens versus predators, the whole conflict, I didn't realize it because I saw Predator 2 in 1990, where you get that little peek at the alien skull trophy inside the Predator ship when Murtaugh is like wandering around in there and he sees the skull and he ends up fighting a Predator. And I think besides Arnold, he's like the only human to ever kill a Predator, but he cheated because he used the Predator's own weapon to do it.
Hey, you know what? In this game, I think it kind of worked out because a lot of the stuff that Predators did were kind of cheap. But as long as they got the kill.
They did, but the difference is they'll kill you only if you're carrying a weapon or if you're like a threat. If you're like you're putting up a fight. Otherwise, they'll leave you alone, more or less.
Yeah.
Aliens want you no matter. They'll come after your shit.
Oh yeah, aliens are a whole different game. Like they'll come right after you. They don't care what you got. And also the xenomorphs, they were more of like how do you explain it? They just threw a bunch at you. There was really not a lot of strategy unless they were by themselves. If they were in a group, they just came running right at you.
They had some sort of telepathic link, at least with the queen. I don't know. There's the whole bunch of drones and one queen.
Yes.
So it's almost like, they're bugs or bees, But they were scary as fuck. The Predator was kind of scary in the beginning because you didn't know what it looked like, and it finally takes its mask off, and like, oh, that's pretty scary. But later on, they just became cool. Because they got weapons. And again, I think comparing them to Batman, I'm pretty sure there was a Batman versus Predator graphic novel.
Yes, there was. There was also, I think, a Batman versus Xenomorph comic book as well.
All right, that's pushing it a bit. But again, why not? Everybody should get in the ring. It's like it's open season. Let's just fight. Everyone should fight everyone. And all right, well, let's talk about the movies themselves now. I got to get all technical, trivial shit in here. But I definitely want to get your take on this because we're gonna have some differences of opinions later on. I foresee.
Oh, I definitely agree with that.
Which of these movies is gonna be better?
Okay, so I hated the first movie a lot.
Getting right into it here. Oh, okay. So you hated AVP. What was your issue with it, really?
The movie itself.
Okay, all right.
I know it's a very broad thing to say, but
we're gonna have. I hated the film stock that it was shot on. We have to get into more detail here, I'm sure.
Oh no, of course, yeah.
All right, well, let me just strip it down here. All right, so it's Aliens versus Predators. It's a cool idea. It was actually the studio, I guess, Fox. There was some sort of project where they were going to actually try to get Ridley Scott or James Cameron or Sigourney Weaver to do or get involved in this. And then none of them thought it was a good idea. They just didn't want to have the crossover, so they didn't do it. And it was like languishing in development hell forever until... what's his name? Oh, okay, the director, Paul W.S. Anderson. I got to tell you why I like this dude is because he directed most of the Resident Evils. He directed Event Horizon and, of course, Mortal Kombat, or shall I say, Mortal Kombat. Cool movies, really awesome visuals, and he has a great style for like sci-fi action horror stuff. So I really like his stuff. And when he pitched this movie to Fox Studios, they greenlit it like almost instantly. So, he must have had a good idea. And it looks like, from my take, it showed up on screen. I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. So far, so good. You still
no, I 100%
don't like
agree. Oh, no, I still don't like the movie, which is such a shame. I didn't know he did Event Horizon. I could definitely tell he did Resident Evil.
Yeah.
All those movies.
most of the Resident Evils, because I know there's one or two of them which he didn't do, and it was one, I think the second one, which I did not like at all. But I love all the other ones, so I'm not sure. You needed him on board for most, to make them good. But the AVP, all right. Well, the first movie, what other cool things are about it? Well, I mean, it does have some continuity because it's got well, I don't know. The cast is really, really international. You got pretty much everybody. It's like a UN, of actors and actresses, and the only actor in there that I really knew, of course, being a big Alien fan, is Lance Henriksen. So he's in there as some sort of bishop, Charles Bishop Wayland.
Yeah.
It is a little confusing because if you've seen all the Alien movies, Bishop was first a droid, but he was probably a human before who designed the droid. And in Alien 3, another Bishop shows up, and we think he's a droid, but he bleeds or he's not on Ripley's side. So it's very confusing. And then I think in the video games, there's another Bishop. Like, there's like, what the hell? He has other names. He has like Carl Bishop Wayland and Michael Bishop Wayland. Like somebody in his family really likes chess or church because there's like bishops all over the place.
Yep.
And I don't know what the timeline really is or who's who or how many bishops there are. But all right, in this movie, he's just like the head of some company, and he does the thing with the knife between his fingers, which is supposed to hint like, oh, yeah, that's what Bishop does in Aliens. But he's like the same, something flowing through the DNA there.
So do you want me to start breaking down why I hate this movie? And
all right, yeah.
And for your fans, I'll just tell you right now, there will be a bunch of spoilers because, oh man, like I'll tell you right now, I saw this movie opening night when I was, I think 13 or 14, and I had such high hopes, and when I saw it, I was just sad. And it's very rare that I walk into a theater and walk out and be like, oh wow, that was a giant pile of steaming shit. Holy crap.
Oh. I mean, maybe you were a bit younger than I was when you first saw this film, but I don't know, maybe that is part of what, and then you just revisited it, I guess, today, right?
Yes, I did revisit the movie just to make sure. I'm like, oh, wait, maybe it wasn't as bad. Nope, it's just as terrible.
It's just as terrible. Okay, well, I got to see what is it that you take such umbrage at in this movie? What let you down?
What let me down? All right, the female lead, she was okay, but I don't know. There's just something I just wasn't a fan of. The whole, let me reiterate. There's a bunch of cliches, and she falls into a bunch of them, and I'm just like, oh god, this is just so hard to watch. For example, when they go to the ship before they even get to the pyramids and the island and the ice and stuff, she's sitting there telling everybody, she's like, oh well, you know what? I don't think I can actually be part of this team. And then they're like, all right, fine, goodbye, get the hell out of here. And she gets ready to leave. Before she goes though, she has to ask. She's like, oh wait a minute. Who's going to be my replacement? And they name some random nobody guy, and she's like, oh, no, he can't do it. He'll get everybody killed. Why can't you get these people? And they're like, oh, they gave you the same answer. All right, you know what? Now I'll take the job. And he's like, really? That's all it took?
This could have been a slightly shorter movie. And I think it was the Scottish guy. Come on, don't let me show you pictures of my kids again.
I actually like him. He's actually my favorite character. And
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because he's been in a bunch of other stuff, but let's not get into that. I'll just say that he was actually my favorite one, and that poor son of a bitch.
It's always good to have a Scot along, and he was in Train Spotting and Snatch, so, come on. Good enough. Snatch. Good repertoire.
My whole thing with So, have you seen Predator 1 and 2? Or Predator?
I've seen all Predator movies so far.
Okay, so, I don't know if... This is going to really bother you and probably your fans.
I don't know the roar.
You know the roar of the Predator, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you watch AVP, the first one, they replace all the roaring with lions and tigers. It's really annoying, and I hated that I noticed that when I was 13.
Oh, wow. You're like paying attention to the damn Foley work and all this other audio shit. No, you might be right.
If they weren't clicking, all it was just like a generic lion or tiger roar, and I'm like, this sucks.
That kind of does suck. I didn't pay that much attention. I just figured, they use lions and elephants and bears in almost every, even Chewbacca, but they mix it better, I think,
Yeah, no. This was just very distinct that it was supposed to sound like a lion. I'm just like, oh, this is awful.
That's the MGM lion right there. I recognize that shit.
It might as well have been, yeah.
Okay, well, all right. I didn't catch that, but maybe you listened to some remixed version of the movie. But all right, that's one thing that would piss me off too. Like you couldn't get a better sound library, or maybe somebody copyrighted the original Predator roar. Because let's not forget, I don't know, it has anything to do with the original actor who played the Predator. Kevin Peter Hall died in 91. So maybe I don't know, he held some copyrights to the Predator roar. Maybe he spoke them himself. I don't know.
Maybe all right, I don't know.
I never thought that would be a problem at all. But yeah. All right, now, you're still not going to make me not like this movie, but continue. Yeah, all right, let's move along. What else happens?
All right, what about when they're on the ship, and then all of a sudden they all sit down in their foldable metal chairs that you'll find anywhere, They're all sitting down. They talk to the guy who pretty much collected the whole team, which that part bothered me too, that they tried to make him look like the old guy from Jurassic Park, like, going around and like, oh, I'd like to recruit you for the team, like a heist movie. They're like, oh,
yeah, like you're the finest in your field.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I hated that
for
so
this.
much. I'm like, what the hell? Okay.
That is
what?
cliche too. Yeah, there's a lot of cliches in this section of the film, as you're telling us.
So aside from that, all right, they're all sitting in the middle chairs and they're all looking forward at the guy who recruited them, and all of a sudden, Wayland decides to, above them, behind them, matter of fact, he's above and behind them on a rafter. He's addressing all of them, but they all now have to turn around in their chairs. I'm like, that was stupid. Why would you make people do that? That's dumb.
That is not how you conduct a seminar. If you want
100%. I just sat there. I'm like, wait, these chairs don't spin. Now they got to all turn in their chair, and the thing is, he doesn't even come down to talk to them. He's just still standing above them. I'm like, this is stupid. No one talks like this.
What a pompous ass. I mean, I don't even think Elon Musk would do it that badly. Just pull on in with one of your freaking Road Warrior cars and don't get a stiff neck looking at me. Like it's only Charles Bishop Wayland. Like no one even gives a rat's ass who he is anyway. They didn't even see aliens. So
no, that's it. We didn't even establish if like this guy is the Elon Musk of the world. They're just like, oh, this is Mr. Wayland. They're like, oh, the rich guy. Yep.
Yeah,
what does he do?
He sent you a paycheck. Like so, at least just listen to me. Listen to my shitty seminar and then twist your neck around and get a cramp. But I'll pay you. I'll pay you handsomely, and you could all just fuck off back to Antarctica and go home if you don't want to stay. But all right, so we get our crew of experts or whatever they are. They're not Marines. This is not like a military operation. They just want to find this underground pyramid buried in the ice because, I don't want to do all this exposition crap and spoilers because you're supposed to have seen all these movies millions of times like me. But all right, let's just talk about the shit that happens. It's cool. The good things, I thought the movie got better and sort of got away from those cliches once they discover this pyramid underground is actually a predator training camp where they hunt Xenos, because they have this whole religion that goes back centuries apparently, and they just grow aliens inside of these human sacrifices or whatever sacrifices they put in the room, and they get impregnated, and the warrior aliens pop out, and the predators get their weapons out of this little toy box, and they put them on, and they go fighting the aliens inside this pyramid, which shifts and changes, has trap doors, secret passages, and pretty cool shit. And so I really like the whole production design of that. And unpredictability.
I'll give it to you. That was 100%. Yeah, no, that was actually pretty cool. I just kept thinking, I'm like, all right, so it's been 100 years and they have a freeze-dried queen.
Yeah, they do.
In a box. Just a freeze-dried queen in a box on a cage who's just pumping out eggs.
You got to thaw her out a little bit. You got to let her simmer for a bit, thaw it out, and those eggs will be nice and fresh. All right, that was pretty damn cool. Maybe these aliens can hibernate, for a long, long time. Because if the people hibernated, they slept in those pods, they traveled light years and they wake up, however many years gone by, everyone they knew was dead back on Earth, but they just took a nap.
Yeah.
So you could freeze and sleep well. In fact, that sacrificial chamber, I just learned, pretty cool. The way that the beds or whatever the altars are arranged is an exact copy of the sleeping pods from the first Alien movie. It's like the same configuration.
Oh,
pretty
I didn't
cool.
even realize that.
I like that. And on the floor, the design on the floor is like this spirally kind of chest burster alien. It looks a lot like the Alien 3 logo. And one of the women that sacrifices herself on the altar there has like a pendant around her neck. That's another little squiggly alien thing. So there's a lot of like Easter eggs and references and stuff in the movie.
Oh, definitely.
The geeks amongst us, and even the very opening shot of the movie, you think it's the alien queen. You see all these little projectiles, like that's the queen, man. It's her. Oh, it's a satellite. Yeah, you psych. But it's visually very cool. It's very cool though. Look, visually, I love this. The way it looks, it's like pretty neat to see all these actors from different countries all dies. Oh, it's the Irishman. Oh, he was drinking too much. Now everyone dies. Doesn't matter where you're from.
No one makes it. The love interest doesn't even make it. Nobody makes it. Like they do these couple of fake outs where they're like, "Oh, do you have kids?" And it's like, "Yes, I do." And then it's like, "Oh, I'm gonna make sure you get out of here." And it's like, "Ha, no." But
He's the first one to die. Yes.
Oh yeah. What I did love though, I'm not gonna lie, when the Predators, when they first showed them, they actually looked pretty cool. And when they made their landing, I was actually pretty content with that. So there is actually a team on top of the ice, since the pyramid, which we didn't mention before, is around, 2,000 feet underground.
It's really far down, and the Predators could just drill through with a little laser, like from space, and make a nice, perfect hole that goes straight down. And the team has to slide down on these little sled things. I guess the Predators could just sit down, and I would just slide down. I think it's pretty safe. Maybe a little bumpy.
Anyway,
it's ribbed for your pleasure.
Yes, it was actually. That was very odd that the ice was doing that, but you just go with it.
Of course. All right, so when they finally get down there and the humans get stuck, they get locked in, they start getting impregnated by facehuggers and predators are running around, and finally, like Lex, the female lead character there, teams up with one of the predators because
I hated
she
that so
accidentally kills one, and like then the predator's like he's impressed.
Yeah, she accidentally killed the xenomorph, and the predator's like, all right, whatever. And then all of a sudden, it's a buddy cop movie, and I'm like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, no, they get together, they start running around, they can't really communicate, but it's all right. Yeah, it's like opposites attract, just like was that Paul Abdul video or something.
Yeah, we didn't even mention that there were 3 predators in the beginning, and for some reason, 2 of them died within 5 minutes of each other.
Yeah. Amateurs, man, and there's no runner-ups.
I understand.
There's no silver and copper.
Yeah, they're young predators that are trying to, show off their strength and stuff, but wow, like, they kind of just had them die off pretty fast.
And their opponents, the aliens, were pretty much just born, so they were young too. I don't know how they learn to fight. It's all instinct. I guess the predators have to train. They got to learn how to use all the weapons and the jujitsu or whatever the hell they do. And the aliens are just, just running around killing shit or, bleeding. Like if you shoot an alien, it bleeds on you. It's a wonderful defense mechanism, as they say, but they can get hurt, but they can hurt you right back.
One thing I actually did like about these predators, though, is that they were jacked.
Yes.
When you compare them to other predators, like, I'm not including Predator 1, but like in Predator 2 and then AVP Requiem, these 3 predators were jacked out of their minds. Like, I don't know what actors they picked, but wow, I was very impressed by that.
It doesn't hurt to have like all the weaponry and stuff, but they look like they could throw down, and they did. There was a couple of fights with the predators and the Xenos that were kind of cool. It's like, all right, let's see when they finally have the smackdown. Is it going to look stupid? A couple of guys in rubber suits, but yeah, they made it look pretty neat.
A lot of slow motion scenes.
Yeah, some of them were cool.
So many slow motion scenes.
Well, what do you want, man? Like Jet Li, dressed up as a xenomorph, fighting.
No, I don't know.
There's a lot of slow-mo, and like sometimes it helps, like Matrix or 300, but then at least, give us the real speed. Hard to pull that off with people in these freaking gigantic latex suits.
So here's one of my other big issues with this movie, though. It was PG-13. Even if you get the unrated edition, there's nothing special about the unrated edition. It's still PG-13, and like, I don't know, you really don't get the fear, the grasp of it, everything, because it's all just like become just little jump scares, and I'm like, all right. Like when they're crawling in the dark in the tunnels, and they don't know that a xenomorph is right next to them. Like, you don't really see anything except that they get snatched away, and then I'm like, oh, is that all? Okay, great.
PG-13, didn't you say this was like, all right, I don't know, you were a little older than that, but you were just old enough to see the damn movie, right? Or some of these movies.
Wouldn't have mattered at my movie theater.
No, you were already, I was ready, I was going to R movies like way before 17 and with or without a parent, but
exactly, yeah.
You got to condition yourself to the shit. And then when you know like what you can handle, you know what your limit is, like I need more gore, this is like, come on, man. I want some Evil Dead shit happening in here.
And that's where AVPR really picks up. And we'll talk about that afterwards, but yeah.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, we'll give a little bit more attention to the first one for a bit.
No,
because,
of course.
I mean, I'm going to definitely get into the second one and why I didn't like it as much, or maybe now I'm starting to warm up to it a bit.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, all right. Well, I mean, I like the whole first AVP going on with what happens. All right, yeah, so they team up. They have a big fight with the Queen because the Queen gets let loose. And that's a really decent fight scene at the end, and the Queen's like running, chasing them down through these giant whale bones. And it's like well shot. Visually, it looks cool. The action is cool. And then the Predator guy, the one that doesn't die, his Scar is this Predator because he had to have a name now. His real name is probably like, but he's Scar for our purposes. He just like jumps out of nowhere like a ninja and flings one of his shurikens at the Queen. I do like those Predator shurikens because there's that one really funny scene where you see the facehugger creeping out of the dark. It's about to jump the Predator. You think the Predator doesn't know. And he just like flings the shuriken, whoosh, cuts the facehugger in half in midair.
Yep.
Falls down, flapping. And then he's like, it's so cool. And then, like, of course, there's a second facehugger that does get him later on.
Oh, but we don't know that. We had no idea. They just cut right next to the next scene before anything could be seen.
Well, yeah, but still, that was the payoff at the very end of this movie. After this Predator dies, fighting the Queen, and the Queen gets pulled down into the ice and presumably frozen or whatever, dead for a while.
Wait, Mike, is that what happens?
That is what happens. I think like they get her all caught up in a chain.
I thought they held hands and then started singing together. God damn it! I watched the wrong movie.
That's in the deleted scenes. Yes, the campfire scene. Yes.
Damn it all! Wrong movie.
And then they had like a little love tryst, and they created like a human predator hybrid, a little baby with dreadlocks and a cannon on its shoulder. So yeah, no, they drop the alien in the ice, and because there's nowhere else to put her, and like the predator dies, and his buddies pick him up and give her, I think they give her like a souvenir baton or some sort of predator weapon.
Oh, and they gave her that like spear because they saw the clan's mark on her face.
Yeah, draw a little heart around his predator symbol name and her name. So she gets left in Antarctica with a predator stick and probably freezes to death anyway. But the coolest thing in the movie that I love, of course, the very last shot, when you think the movie's over, you see the predator there lying on his little altar in the window, and the camera's like zooming into him, and out comes a chest burster, and you see a nice close-up, and it's got the predator mandibles, and it's got the double alien teeth spitting out, and it's just like, I love that. Yeah, it's awesome. And then it ends. So we don't know if there's going to be a sequel, but if there is a sequel, we have like a new kind of creature to run around. That's
where the sequel comes in, and I really actually love that sequel.
I really never expected to watch Requiem again, because I did go see it. That came out in 2007, and like not many of the same people worked on this movie, other than the dude that always plays the alien in these movies now. He's always in the suit, and the new Predator actor. There's no more Paul W.S. Anderson, and instead we get directors, the brothers Strauss, who are a couple of dudes who direct some special effects in music videos, and I think they did the iceberg effects in Titanic, but I guess those were important.
Wait, this was their first movie?
I think it's their first feature. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But the only thing I know they did after this movie was Skyline in 2010, which is another alien invasion movie.
That's a damn shame. Oh boy.
Yeah, no, I thought that movie was an abortion too, but it had some cool visuals, at least that I could say. So they do special effects, but when I watched their commentary and their featurettes about how they came to make Requiem, they actually really love what they're doing, and they are big Alien fans. And okay, so if you love this, you're not gonna piss all over it. I'll give it another shot. So I watched this movie in the theaters. I was expecting it to be great. It was Christmas 2007. It came out.
Yep.
And I don't know. I think I didn't like it mostly because I think it really, even though you finally get to see what happens when the Xenos get to Earth, which was like, we've been hinting at that ever since the first Alien. Like, if this ever gets to Earth, like, it's going to destroy the entire human race and all that shit. So they finally get to Earth. This movie it has a cast of kind of like nobodies, like people I've never seen before. Every day, just like a regular town. I think it's like in Colorado or somewhere.
Yep.
And
Gunnison,
there's a sheriff. Yeah, there's a sheriff. There's like some douchey high school bullies picking on some guy. There's this blonde tease.
Oh, don't forget, we also have the criminal older brother who comes back into town.
Right. He was in the Slammer for 3 years. We don't know what he did exactly. And there's like a military mom that comes back from Iraq. So there's a whole lot of people that are just supposed to be like, everyday Americans, I guess. And
wait, so you're telling me you didn't like this one?
No, I mean, that's okay, I guess. But this might be what I had a
No, I meant like the movie itself. Like, you weren't a fan of this one?
Back when it was first out, and now when I watched it again like a year or two after, I was like, yeah, this is crap, man. This isn't as good as AVP. The characters aren't that good. There's not enough, storyline that brings it into the other movies. But I keep going. I have good things to say about it. It's not a complete turd that I thought it was. Because now I watched it again.
My whole why I did not like it.
But you did like this one.
No. There are, of course, I did like this movie, but I'm saying overall, do you want to start with the negatives first, or do you want to start with the positives?
Let's positives, yeah, because negatives are better. Negatives are easier to chew on.
Okay, so positives, I want to say that what I liked is it actually brought back a lot of the fear because of the way, because it was rated R, you got to see more of like what the xenomorphs were actually doing to the townspeople. What I liked about the original Alien and Aliens was it was just like a bunch of nobodies. Like, it was just a bunch of blue collar people fighting this incredible force, which is pretty much what this town was. Just a bunch of everyday Joes, and then all of a sudden a crazy thing happens in their town, and then they just have to deal with it somehow.
Yeah, I guess they just weren't as likable a bunch of everyday Joes as like the Marines and Aliens, or like the crew of the Nostromo. They were just like, even though they were very, very sketchy characters in the first one, like they probably improvised half the lines. But, in Aliens, like those lines were like priceless. Every character, you knew them and you liked them a lot, and then they die. And it's just, this is different. This is just like, oh, who the fuck are these people? And like, fighting aliens.
If you cut out the alien, if you cut out the xenomorphs or the Predator or both of them, it would pretty much just be like a high school drama movie that I would definitely turn off in a heartbeat.
Exactly. So, all right, but you throw in some of these better elements, and it's better. I guess it's just, you want to see this is what would really happen. It's not, you can't pick and choose who the victims of an alien invasion are. That's where they landed, and this is the town that's going to get fucked with, and These are the people. Maybe I needed like a better, I don't know, actors that I knew or things like that. And I thought in the beginning it was just like the way it was shot and the pacing was a little bit weird for me.
Oh, the
And
pacing was I actually liked the pacing because it was just so, breakneck speeds, like, nonstop. Like, all right, like with one thing, like it was pretty much bad thing to the next bad thing to the next bad thing.
oh yeah, but some of the bad things were just like the bullies throwing the pizza delivery guy's keys into the sewer. But then
Oh,
that
that was
leads
such
them
a
into
dickbag move. Like, I don't know how you don't, like, this is how you create, like, freaking mass shooters. All because he talked to a girl? Like, oh, really? Is this what really happens? Like, yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, just like I said, these are the people that I'm like, all right, they're going to be alien food at some point in the movie, and of course, yeah, they get what's coming to them. So that's like at least certain characters you want dead get dead.
Oh yeah.
But the rest of them, like I'm like, these are the heroes. I'm like, well, okay, I won't remember who you were, once I walk out of the theater. But
Yes, every character was incredibly forgettable. I will agree with you on that.
yeah, we needed like a little more star power or just something. I mean, the monsters are the real stars here. It's like you can't even really root for the humans in this movie that much because they're just like, I don't know, they're hopeless or they're assholes or both.
Yeah. I did like the one, the only Predator in the movie that pretty much like, he just became like a janitor / cop for the whole movie.
Yeah, some cool thing about the Predator in this movie, and this is all from like the script, I guess, or like whatever the filmmakers want to dub these characters, because this Predator was known as Wolf, and this is based on Harvey Keitel's Winston Wolfe from Pulp Fiction, because his character does pretty much the same thing this Predator does.
Wait, was
He's
it
just
really?
He's the cleaner. He just comes in and fixes the shit that's gone wrong,
That
which
makes
is
so much more sense now. Yeah, I agree with you. Holy crap.
Yeah, the alien that's loose on Earth that killed the Predator and made the ship crash. So they have to go there and tie up these loose ends. So that's Wolf there.
Yes, and I'm sorry. The main antagonist is the Predalien. I did not make up that word. That's from the original 2000 or 2001 PC Alien vs Predator game. It's one of the final bosses in one of the campaigns. It's called a Predalien. Dumbest name I ever heard in my entire life.
You sure? I've heard some dumber ones like maybe Sharktopus, or Rhinostrich. All those movies they do
real,
on
okay? That's history.
Sci-Fi Channel.
That's history and science you're messing with there.
Okay. But yeah, Predalien is really fucking stupid. But you know what that character was called in the script so that no one would know like that actually there was going to be the Predalien hybrid? They gave it another name in the script. You know what that was?
Really? What do they call it?
Chet.
Wait,
you know why? No. Do you know why it was called Chet? I want to see if you know this.
I really had no idea that was actually what he was called.
Well, besides to keep it a secret, again, it's like, who is the biggest asshole you could think of when you recall all the movies you've ever seen?
Yeah,
you can't remember.
A guy named Chet.
Can you remember Chet from Weird Science?
No, you just have to. Oh no, I do remember Chet from Weird Science, but I'm just saying, no, pretty much. I don't think there's never been a good story about a guy named Chet.
I guess not, but now there is. Or Predalien named Chet. So it's really Chet versus Wolf in this movie. The Predalien looked awesome when it was born, and then like when it grows up and it's all big, it's pretty scary. I guess it's just basically a Xeno with muscles and dreadlocks.
Yeah.
And of course the extra mouth in front, the mandibles. Yeah.
It can reproduce.
Oh yeah, that's another interesting thing about this guy. I mean, if it's a guy, I mean, I don't know that when the Predalien attacks, it goes after already pregnant women, and it kind of like force feeds its tongue. And then starts dropping eggs down their throat. And then they burst out giving like triplets and shit. Like, it's like 3 chest bursters, belly bursters, whatever coming out. So this Predalien is pretty virile.
Yeah. The only men that had chest bursters were the ones that were attacked by the face huggers that were already on the crash ship. Other than that, every other man in this movie gets murdered and turned into food.
I mean, this is a scarier movie for sure. I mean,
and that's what I love about it.
It's very dark too. The lighting is kind of like you're not going to see these things.
So here's my issue with that.
You know what they look like, but you're not going to see them clear.
It was too goddamn dark.
That's true. A lot of people complain about that in the film, and I guess you could set the brightness on your television, but
I saw it in theaters on Christmas, same time as you, and oh my god, was this movie so goddamn dark. It was very annoying, but I did enjoy it, and I actually really liked the way the story progressed, and the idea of like, like I said before, it was just people just going about their daily lives, and then just crazy shit happens around them. And I kind of like that a lot more than the whole, we're going to go Tomb Raider this temple in the first one. But yeah.
That had a more compelling story because you're learning all the mythology about, well, at least I don't know if the mythology came from the graphic novels. Like the aliens and predators have been fighting each other for centuries, and there's like all these hieroglyphs, and the humans are able to decipher it. Like, oh, I'm an archaeologist. I know what that means. It means there are these insects and these gods, and the humans worship them as gods, and they fight on the pyramid and blah, blah, blah. It's like a training ritual. But in this one, it's kind of just like, all right, they're just going to land on Earth and wreak havoc. So the plot is kind of, very simplified here. But there's some good moments in there. I mean, yeah, the fight scenes in here are a little bit more like, brawly, and then the AVP, and of course, yeah, they're darker. There's more blood and guts in this one for sure.
The violence level definitely gets kicked up a notch.
Yeah, it's a little bit better. There's a lot of dead bodies in this movie, and there's one scene. I don't know if it was intentional, but the coroner looks a lot like H.R. Giger, the designer of Alien. But I think that was just like maybe an accident or a funny coincidence. I don't know. But he's just in one scene, and checking on the dead people. And there's a diner attack, and the aliens bust into the diner kitchen. It's like, all right, we want eggs off the menu. And they're pissed off. It's just like a cool horror scene. Yeah, I read something also. Bill Paxton was offered a role as the chef, but he was busy with something. Otherwise, he would have been in another Predator and Alien movie, but didn't show up here, unfortunately. Would have been very cool to see him there.
I would have definitely loved seeing Bill Paxton there. You know what? For fun? Gary Busey. But not Gary Busey back then. Gary Busey now, with the fake teeth and the crazy hair and the clearly, sadly, motorcycle accident. But I mean, still, like, the fun, crazier Gary Busey.
Yeah, well, that's the only Gary Busey I like. But his son was in The Predator. Oh, so I guess he was supposed to be the son of that character. And,
that pile of trash movie.
Yeah, I didn't like that one very much. I kind of like the Adrian Brody one. I don't know why.
Predators. Yeah.
Predators was not bad. And
I like Predators because it was more like, it didn't really have to deal with being on Earth or dealing with like an invasion. It was literally just, you're on an alien planet, you got a bunch of people. Like I said, it's a bunch of people who just somehow got pulled into a weird situation. And that's what I like more.
Yeah, it's a hunt. Like a big group of people that get slowly, knocked off until there's only one or two left. And then they, you see who can hold their own against the Predator. And it's really just Adrian Brody after he got out of the gym. It's just muscles and a nose, basically. He's like, I don't know, that's weird. Yeah. I don't think that wasn't the type of movie he usually did. But there he goes, getting old Rambo on us and stuff.
No, it was a very good movie. And I was just very surprised they picked him as the lead action guy.
It's on his CV. Now, yeah, I did a fucking Predator movie, yeah?
Yeah.
But back to the AVP Requiem and the big battle going on across the city, and pregnant woman in the hospital, water breaks, and I'll go get the doctor. And instead of the doctor, the frigging Predalien shows up. Hey, you're not my obstetrician. Yeah. And he gives her some more eggs.
That's what I mean. Like, I was very surprised they went that dark, where you just see they don't show it, but like they imply that the Predalien just went to town on the NICU and the baby ward, and you're just like, oh well, there those guys go.
Yeah, this neonatal ward is getting a little crazy in here. I don't think anything happened to the babies, though. I think the babies were left alone. Because there was like a bunch of newborns just sitting around, but like, they'll be traumatized if they remember any of this.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, according to the end of the movie, no one remembers anything.
There's not anyone left to remember. But actually, do you know how when the aliens are born and they come out of their host, they sort of take on the characteristics of the host? So I don't actually remember ever seeing a kid give birth to an alien. Like at the beginning of this movie, the father and son who are out hunting get face hugged, and then they both get their chest bursts, and I don't know if the kid gives birth to a smaller alien, and then the alien gets to like, what the fuck, man? And he's like 2 feet tall. He never grows up all the way.
Well, I mean, towards the middle of the movie, we know that there's a bunch of them running around now, so there's no way to keep up.
Yeah, so they're all over the place. And I figure, like, even at the end, when you think, like, that's it, the government gets involved, and of course they want to just contain everything, and they end up nuking this whole town, and everyone's blown up, There's probably there might be a few Xenos left running around. I don't know. So, like, who really won this battle? We don't know.
Oh, it's one of those versus movies. It's a tie.
It's a tie.
Yep.
I guess. I mean, it's like, yeah, even if you ever remember seeing the end of Freddy versus Jason, even though Freddy's decapitated and Jason's walking off with him because Jason was here first, Freddy still has to open his fucking eyes and wink at you before the credits roll. So it's like nobody really won.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk about that movie eventually, I actually enjoyed that movie.
Oh, it's a riot, that movie. But yeah, I don't know if we have time for it in this discussion.
Oh, no, I mean for your next show, whenever you want.
I'll watch it again. The whole evolution of Freddy Krueger is like already fascinating. Talk about character development or undevelopment over the films. Close to the ending of this movie. One cool thing I liked, and of course I would love it if we had better actors in the movie, but there is like one little callback to the first Predator, of course.
No, don't say it. Oh, God, I hated that part so much.
Did you hate that?
I hated it so much. I was just like, God damn it.
But don't take it out on the poor helicopter.
I know, but God damn it, when he says it, it bothered me so much.
What do you think? Is like the crowd supposed to get all riled? Like all cheering?
No, that's what the crowd's supposed to do. I just sat there and I'm like, fuck this guy.
You stupid screenwriter. Yeah. I mean, it would have been better if like somebody cool would say it. I mean, I don't know. If we have like some good actors in this movie, I would be like, let's put Christopher Walken in the movie, go, get to the chopper.
Exactly. And that was the line that lead actor just took away from a great movie.
Yeah, that sucks when you take an amazing, cool line that everybody loves and you just like, make it into a limp dick. And that's what they did here.
And that was exactly it. He just limp dicked his way through especially for the record, the whole time they were getting to the hospital for that, they called it a helicopter the entire time.
Right,
Except
you
for that
can't
one
call
line.
Well, he's not even the ex-military. He's the ex-con.
Exactly. Oh, all of a sudden he's going to start throwing out like Hollywood or military lingo. Oh, the chopper. Oh, yeah, we call that the chopper. Yeah.
We'll meet you there at 0800.
Exactly. What's he going to say next?
Clicks?
Like, I got to go to the head? Oh, you mean
I'm
the
5
shitter?
clicks
Okay.
out. That's when you need your drill sergeant. All right, yeah, that was annoying. Like, yeah, I'm just going to say this line and instantly I got cred and this movie is cool, but it's not.
Yeah, no.
You can't do that. I don't like when they try to milk shit that worked before, but you got to get your own new milk now.
Yeah.
You got to squeeze a different udder. So this movie was kind of leaning on some of the older stuff, but okay, whatever. That was just some stupid fan service that didn't serve this fan.
Oh, without a doubt, yes.
The last fight, though, on the rooftop with the Predalien and the
That was
Predator.
cool.
The Predator has like a new weapon, and now it's using a whip.
That awesome like blade whip thing that just cuts shit in half?
Yeah, that was nice. That was all right.
Amazing.
But yeah, the Predalien had like a big ass tail. I think all the aliens have big sharp tails that they could just impale other creatures on. And I think that's kind of like what happened here. I think they both basically deal each other a fatal blow just before the nuke hits. Oh yeah, well, what's his face there? Wolf pulls out Chet's tongue, or more or less like castrates him, because I think the tongue is really like his reproductive organ.
Exactly, and he just starts coughing up the predator / alien blood all over him, and he's just, I don't know if he smiled, but you could definitely tell there was something going on there.
Speaking of like blood and liquid, like the Predator's got the green glow in the dark blood, the alien's got the yellow. But what about this like little bottle the Predator's walking around with? It's like pouring like this dishwashing liquid all over everything and dissolving it. Like every time there's a dead alien or a dead facehugger, he just like dissolves it. He pours it in the pool. He evaporates the entire damn swimming pool after he kills off.
Mike. It's called movie magic.
Yeah.
He had a bottle of movie magic. That's all.
Hey, he's the cleaner. That's it. I understand.
He was a predator, Mr. Clean. That's it.
I know, but if you're going to be melting bodies, it's just so like the cops can't find out. It's like, but the Predator doesn't give a damn what the cops find out. That's all right.
In this movie, he was a janitor / beat cop who just had to come in and clean up the old mess that the last guys left behind.
He did a good job of it anyways. Well, one thing at the end of this movie that I also thought was like a nice try was at the very end when they get that one piece of Predator weaponry, they get the gun and like they bring it to the secret office somewhere, and they meet this mysterious Asian woman. They tell her, we just recovered this Ms. Yutani, and she's like the person from the other company that merges with Weyland and makes all these, whatever, that alien company that everyone hates that wants to procure aliens to use as military pawns or weapons. And
let's just call them Oscorp. They're Oscorp. That's all they
Oscorp. This gun is supposed to be like the technology that helps the humankind discover space travel, and then that's how we get 100 years into the future. We see the crew of the Nostromo going out there and finding the eggs or whatever it is. I don't buy that either. I don't know. The gun, they say, oh, the world's not ready for this technology. But I know where you could bring it. You could bring it to Comic-Con and somebody will buy it.
What Comic-Con?
I'm sure you got Predator weapons at Comic-Con.
No, I just mean coronavirus has kind of ruined my Comic-Con. So.
It's probably all virtual now.
It is all virtual. It makes me sad.
You could just bid on stuff and click and buy it. I don't know. I'm sorry about that. I hope that comes back. I mean, but you're all masked, so everyone should be safe.
Sure. Masks. Totally.
Yeah, like N95, Darth Vader helmet. No problem. It's fine. I'm sure they got those. So this movie didn't do very well, even though you loved it and I didn't. The critics didn't like it, and they were going to do a third one, but
they didn't want to chance it.
Well, I guess there wasn't enough of a, positive response to this one. And also they were going to try, at least this movie showed you for the very first time, we see the Predator home world. We see what they got there.
Yes,
what it looks
you're right.
back,
I completely forgot about that scene.
It's only a quick little shot there. A couple of, they have a lot of weapons there. They have nice chairs, a nice view. But they were supposed to show us the alien homeworld at the end of this. And they said, nah, maybe we'll save it for the third AVP movie, which never got made so far. Now there's probably
Prometheus.
There's probably no alien homeworld. Well, Prometheus does have an alien homeworld, but I think the aliens that we know them as were engineered by the David character in Prometheus.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of like, yeah, screw it. There's no home planet now. It's like it's wherever I was when I put them in the test tubes and made them. So, but I like that. That's cool. So the thing that really sucks now is I thought that the third AVP movie that will probably not get made was intended to tie in the storyline right to the original Alien, because Ridley Scott is supposed to do that too, but now we still don't know what's going on with his next Alien movie. It may or may not have anything to do with that storyline. And if he just like blue balls us on that and we never get the end of the story, I'll be very, very pissed off.
I'll bet you $100 he's gonna blue ball us. I'll bet you $1,000 he's gonna blue
He
ball
probably
us.
will. So I'm already like getting some paint, to remedy that. But there's also at least thank God there's graphic novels. There's this Dark Horse collection that has every Alien, Predator, Prometheus storyline, and they kind of like do something with it. And I haven't read it yet, but I have it, so I'm going to read it. And that's like, in case there's no more continuation of the story, there's at least something there to go, that could have been cool. Because I would write the damn screenplay myself, but then I wouldn't be surprised. So I want somebody else to do it. I want somebody else to do it well and not screw it up.
Honestly, they should just do what they did in the games in like 2000 or 2001, that Alien vs Predator game. Perfect scenario, perfect everything. It was literally just like a group of like scientists and Marines on an alien planet. They're doing some kind of stupid research, and they happen to like bump into a bunch of xenomorphs, and then at the same time, predators show up. Predators are hunting, the xenomorphs and the humans. Humans are just trying to defend themselves from both, and then aliens are just trying to kill everybody. That was such a great idea for the game. It was actually a really good game too.
Well, it works, as playability, and it's it's exciting, it's engaging. There's like a story going on, but it's not boring.
Exactly. So I don't know why they couldn't just do a movie based off that. Enough of this modern bullshit, where we're like, it's the year 2021 and this. No. Let's go to the year 2700. Why not? Humans already went out and and then they run into this crap. I don't know.
There's good ideas out there. I hope somebody will do one of these things and write it. But yeah, like I said, we got the comics and audio books and all kinds of cool shit to listen to, or other media. But the movies are what I see as the most official. Once you see the movie, that's it. That's the ultimate.
That's the ultimate canon right there. That's exactly what you have to go on.
Got to be canon. But if canon starts to suck, it starts to misfire. You got to try something else, man. If I even have to go read a damn comic book for more satisfaction.
Star Wars? What are you talking about here? Star Wars? We already did Star Wars.
It's almost the same thing, man. It's like there's been so many expectations and letdowns with Star Wars. I just don't want that to happen to the aliens too, especially if Disney acquires it. And that's like, oh no, you want your rated R, you'll never see rated R again.
Technically, I think Disney owns Fox, right?
Yeah, they might have Alien now. I tell you, man, you're gonna get G-rated cartoon xenomorphs now to be singing along, man, with Mickey, and I don't want to see that. I want to
see a Predator holding hands with Mickey. That'd be amazing.
I wouldn't mind if there was a cartoon, but it has to be really violent. Yeah, man. I want to see a goofy alien. It would be the best. Or Donald Duck, man. Him and the Predator could argue with each other. I don't know. But yeah, these are still great movies. But you still go with AVP Requiem, huh?
Yes, I would say that is the superior movie. Even though I understand it's an unpopular opinion. Trust me, I'm not a contrarian. I'm just saying I liked it better for certain elements, and there were less cliches, but it was still, not one of the greatest movies, but I did like it way better than the first one.
I guess it just comes along and delivers the goods without too much fuss, and just like here, this is what it is. It's a bunch of mayhem, a lot of blood, violence, fights, and some cool deaths, and a little bit more gadgetry for the Predators. But
it sounds exactly like a movie for Quan. That's perfect.
That's kind of it. Yeah, I know. I want a little bit more meat on it, though. I mean, I want some more mythology. That's why I loved Prometheus so much. I don't know if we'll ever get around to that one, but that one had everything I loved about these movies. It has the scary terror, has mystique, it has epic, cool designs, other planets and ships and things, and you don't exactly know what everyone's motivations are, but it is never boring. So
if you want to talk about that to do the next one, I can jump into that too. And I was not a fan of that one.
Okay, I'm not talking to anybody who doesn't like Prometheus, man. Fuck that. But we'll see. No. That's like one of my faves, man. I think that movie. I love that movie. It's great. It's almost perfect. It would be perfect if they finished the damn story.
In that movie, I hate it so much.
All right, well, you could tell me that in private, and I'll see if I want to record it for ever to be heard again by human ears. All right, well, this was very cool talking about aliens and predators, man. So, thanks for taking the time and watching these movies again, in the last few hours.
No, man, no worries. Thank you for having me again on the show. I really do enjoy being here and talking with you about these things.
Yeah, you're a good guest. And I know, again, you're not really here. When this COVID shit is over, we'll sit in a studio and do this for proper.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, well, we'll just do it on our lunch break at work or something.
Yeah.
All right, we'll try to get some sleep and don't have nightmares about all these monsters in rubber suits chasing you around in dark corridors.
No, I just have nightmares about terrible uncles, but we'll get into that later.
Oh, yeah, next episode. We're going to go digging deep. All right, so I got to get out of here, man. So get to the chopper.
Yeah, right.
You son of a bitch.
Oh, Dylan, you son of a bitch. All right.
I'm not looking at you right now, but I know you're one ugly motherfucker. All right, we'll sign off proper. All right, man. So see you next time, man.
Mike, all right?
Till the next one. And fans, thanks, whoever's out there listening.
And thanks for listening, and sorry if we spoiled anything for you.
Yeah, you should have known better. All right. Peace out.
Later.
Later, man.
Well, I say that went pretty well. I was kind of nervous something would go wrong with this podcast, but looks like everything just worked out. Wait a minute. What's that? What's that sound? Oh, shit!